Cradle. I haven't been down here in years.
If cold storage is where the host's bodies are taken to rot, where do their minds go?
These new labs, previously unexplored by the audience, previously unexplored by Bernard, are just another kind of fascinating level.
Cradle is a space in which the host's copies are stored.
It could have just been a server room, but we wanted it to look and feel a little bit more, futuristic, for lack of a better word.
We wanted it to feel like a nuclear reactor, not like a server room. I've shot a lot of server rooms. They're really boring. They're really noisy because they use air. Water is a much more efficient way to cool things, and it's also creepier. There's something creepy about the idea of this information being sort of drowned or subsumed in water.
That's probably the most exciting thing for me this season, just in terms of set extension.
It's essentially like walking into a giant haunted house. You know, it's like walking into a room where there are thousands of brains, maybe hundreds of thousands, just alive in there.
It's like a hive mind. Every single one of them is in here, alive.
The thought that's gone into the rationale behind the technology and the way the technology fits into the storytelling is really well considered by Jonah and Lisa and our writers.
The idea that the hosts always have another version of their mind that is co-located. All of the things that make them appealing to the guests are the result of countless hours of refinement. You wouldn't want to lose one of these things. So, a question that we wanted the audience to be asking themselves that we didn't answer in the first season is, what happens when you do lose one of these things? What's the backup?
No matter what happens to your body, you can be born again as long as we have these pearls. That's where their programming, their memories are stored.
That was one thing that was great working with Jonah, is trying to develop what this pearl image was.
Without slowing down to explain all of it, you wanted to feel intuitively how the technologies have changed.
It's oddly futuristic and retro, mechanical, all at once.
The pearls are essentially a brain for each one of the hosts.
It's a three-dimensional neuroplastic device.
The very center of this being, around the pearl are all these things that kind of protect it.
These pearls are inside the host's head, and then what holds them and how does it connect to their systems, and
made this really cool artistic piece of what actually goes on in these characters.
And it's pretty much their brain, soul, everything that's in them. It's downloaded into these golf ball-sized information data holders.
Ford drew the curtain here too. I can see the responses it's issuing, but I can't see how. We realize that the Cradle itself is sending messages throughout the program. So the only way to find out what's going on, Bernard decides, is to extract his pearl and put him into the Cradle.
It's meant to read host data directly. It's set up for auto extraction.
That's for older hosts, Bernard.
The extraction, it can be done in many different ways.
With an articulated skull architecture, your head's just like mine.
Just let it do its thing. Pull me out in an hour.
We've developed this extraction process that is used for Bernard specifically.
We haven't turned your pain down yet.
There's no time.
Combination of visual effects and the helmet and some practical elements from us as well. The helmet goes on, and within this helmet, it does all the work for you. It's a very disturbing image. I think the whole process is pretty intense.
It's really fascinating, challenging, thought-provoking, surprising stuff.
To be able to see the layer onion of Westworld continue to get peeled back has been awesome.
What do you see in there?
What else is in the Cradle is something we'll come to discover.
Hello, old friend.